We love hip
I do
hop.
have a question. Based on the conversation we had the last episode, like last year, right? We were talking about legally owning handguns in Canada.
Yes.
Okay. I'm still not completely clear on that because I've been having conversations where people are like, hey, I have a handgun. The situation that we just got, we don't know if it was a handgun, but there was another situation where a person had a handgun in their home. Who can have them and who can't have them? And what is the procedure to get one?
So currently, you cannot get licensed to have a handgun because
At all.
Correct. In 2022, the federal government made it illegal for even gun stores to import handguns, for anyone to sell a handgun, anyone to transfer a handgun. So even with your gun license, I cannot legally transfer one of my handguns to you. But because I owned handguns before 2022,
yeah,
I am allowed to keep my collection of handguns.
Oh, that'll be mine.
Like your
Because
grandfather did.
I already had. So I got my license for handguns, I think in 2016. And so in 2016, I was allowed to be licensed as anyone else was. You just go and do the course and you apply to the RCMP and they do a background check and make sure that you're, a law-abiding citizen and that you don't have any prior domestics. Like domestics was a big concern back then. I think it still is. And so got licensed for what was called restricted and then non-restricted firearms. So non-restricted are things like shotguns and certain rifles. All handguns were considered restricted firearms, but we, as legal gun owners, had a license to purchase and use and transfer and transport. So if you in 2018, let's say, decided to get, your restricted license and you were like, hey, I really like that gun. Can I buy it off of you? I could have sold it to you as long as we do the paperwork with the RCMP. So like it was highly, highly regulated. Every handgun that was legally owned was registered to a person and that person had to be at a particular place. And so the RCMP always had to know how many guns you had and where you kept them. Like it was and it still is highly regulated. So in 2020, the Liberal government, during COVID, this was what their concern was, decided to pass law that made certain restricted guns prohibited. So like AR-15s and certain rifles in that category. Things that looked like assault rifles. We don't actually have assault rifles in Canada because we were, as legal gun owners, unless you had like specific military guns, you cannot have fully automatic.
Interesting.
So that was a part of the classification. So 2020, they say some of these scary looking guns, no matter how they function and whether or not they're used for hunting or not, we're going to make those prohibited. So those of us who own those guns now own prohibited guns that we can't do anything with. And those are part of the buyback. 2 years later, the government said, okay, we're done allowing handguns into this country. So there was a mad rush for anyone who at the time was allowed to purchase handguns, went to their gun stores and ordered handguns and bought them all up.
So really? So back in 2022,
back
was
in
a big sale going on.
Huge.
Yeah.
You had to like get whatever you could at the time because there was like a time limit. As soon as the clock stopped and stores could no longer sell handguns, that was it. So there was no more importation, no more sale, no more transfer, no more anything. We can still bring our guns to the range, so we can still like use them for the purpose that we own them for.
Right.
But that's it. So as of today, even if you went and did the course and applied to the RCMP for your license and did all of the paperwork properly, you could not legally purchase a handgun.
Is the reasoning for that
our government is stupid?
Okay. So like did they try to say like, oh, handguns can't be used for hunting or something?
No, they
Did they have a reason?
Absolutely no sense.
It's just arbitrary.
It's
like
completely arbitrary. They banned AR-15s in Canada, and then they decided out in BC, I can't remember what animal. There was like certain animals were overrun, and when there's a particular area that's overrun by a particular animal, the government issues license for them to be culled, which basically means hunters can go in and kill them. And when hunters kill animals, they take them and they use them. They eat them. They use them for different purposes. Like they do, what we would hope that they would do with these animals. Instead of allowing the legal gun owning population to use their legal AR-15s, which the government had banned, the government spent $80 million contracting with a company in the U.S. to come in and use AR-15s from helicopters
Oh my
to call
God.
the same animals.
That's so dumb.
That's where we're at with this government.
Yo, we're
AKA
ass backward.
We are beyond ass back. We're a joke.
AKA they link their bedroom like, hey, I'm gonna put this for your company, and then when you need to send me, use my company type thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
These guys are
That's all
just
it is.
yeah, exactly.
All it is.
patting each other on the back and let's put money in each other's pockets.
Exactly.
Yo, it's a nasty game. Okay, I have one more question on the handguns thing, and we're gonna skip a couple of topics because we're running a little bit later tonight. But it's good. Importation. Okay. During the time, I guess pre-2022, before
Yes.
Trudeau fucked that shit up,
Yep.
right? How was that working? Like, because obviously you can't get all your handguns you want over here in Canada. You might be on a trip in, I don't know, Arizona and be like, this gun looks nice. I want to buy it, bring it back home. Can that happen? Or could that happen at the time?
I think so. I think that there was you obviously had to declare them.
Yes.
You had to travel with them legally. You had to have all your paperwork in order,
Mhm.
and you would have had to declare it crossing the border. The same way you could order a gun from the States or gun parts, you just have to send all of your proper paperwork and it's going to be checked at the border.
Ah.
Right. And so you can order from anywhere as long as you were sending, your valid license and all of the paperwork checked out. And it wasn't something that was prohibited. So if you were going to order a restricted firearm, then you had to have a restricted license and, it had to be properly declared like through customs.
Wow, that's an interesting process. So you could like order some guns and then you just, as long as you, I guess, upload the proper paperwork.
I think so. I mean, I never, I did whenever I bought guns, it was through like
person.
Canadian, no, it wasn't always in person, but it was always through like Canadian retailers.
You got one in the mail one day?
Maybe.
That's sick.
No, is that how that works? No, because I'm there thinking like an old head, like, okay, when you go into the gun store and then you say, give me that one. Like,
Yeah.
That's what I
I mean, that's how I like usually buy guns and how I
Yeah.
know most people do. More so just because you want to like try it. You want to make sure that you like the feel, you like the weight, like
You're making,
there's,
is there a dressing
if
room?
you're like, yeah, you gotta like, there's some you try and you especially if you're using them for sport or using them for target, like, yeah, there's a whole culture around it. And the reality is there's like a lot of people in Canada that are also using their guns for hunting and they want to make sure that it's like fits all of the classifications that they want. Sometimes they want to outfit them with like certain scopes or certain accessories. Like you're going to do that mostly in the store, but not always. And that's, it's still happening now. Like you can order guns online and have them mailed to you. You can order your ammunition online and have it mailed to you.
That's
as long
insane.
as it's, again, legal and you're showing all of your proper paperwork. Yeah.
How often do the RCMP come and check on your gun storage?
I've never had a visit, but they certainly can.
At
And
any
as legal
time,
gun
right?
owners, we have to be prepared that they can knock on the door at any time and say, like, I need to check on your guns and see how they're
That's
stored.
crazy.
Normally, they only show up or they only take an interest if guns have gone missing or there's like a reported robbery or a break-in and there's a problem. Or I've had cases where someone's legally purchased gun ends up used in a crime. And now the police are knocking on the door and being like, where's the gun that's supposed to be in your safe?
Oh,
and why did
shit.
we just arrest someone in another city?
Yeah.
And it was in their satchel.
No, I
So
just got like,
that'll bring the police to your door real quick.
I just got like an anxiety boom right now, like from the police like coming to your door. And you didn't even notice that the shit was missing. You're like, what are you here for?
Like imagine your son like sold it or something.
Yeah.
Like your son gave it to his friend. That's crazy.
If let's say you have like a legally purchased firearm and it's used in a crime but not by you, are you as the gun owner still going to be held responsible, criminally responsible for that?
Depends.
Unlikely for the crime, but likely for failing to report that it was lost or stolen. We have a legal obligation to keep track of our guns.
So you might lose your license,
Correct.
your gun license for
Yes.
that, but you wouldn't be like criminally charged.
Unlikely, but again, I have to be so far removed from the person, and I have to explain like how it ended up in the crime, right? Because the reality is like I know where all my guns are stored. Like they're not just gonna go missing.
Yeah.
There's no world in which someone is accidentally going to end up with my firearms.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
if there's connections, they're just gonna assume that you gave it to
But
them.
For
you
sure.
sold
And
it,
they were
yeah.
like, yeah, listen, take care of this problem for me.
Exactly.
Bring it back
Yeah.
when you're done. And they didn't bring it back.
Listen, this is why I'm glad that you're here, because there's a lot of clarity that we need when it comes to this, and the audience too. That there's a lot of stuff that people think that they know and don't really know. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to check out these other videos on the screen and make sure to like and subscribe.
We love hip hop.